Hey guys, MG here from mgcovers.com, bringing you a brand new handicapping video, a case study, an example of bad value and why it's the reason you're losing money in sports betting. And on the flip side, we're going to show you examples of how to find good value that's going to make you extremely profitable. Let's get started. Okay, we're going to use a real live example. This is from last night, 2/7/2019 in the NHL. The game we're going to look at is the Los Angeles Kings on the road facing the Philadelphia Flyers. And what I'm going to do is I want to evaluate this game the way the general public would look at this game, and sometimes referred to in the business as a square, or someone that's not educated about sports betting, or someone that thinks they're educated, but they're actually not. So here's how they generally evaluate this team. They go, okay, Los Angeles, Philadelphia. Philadelphia is at home. They have an advantage. That's not really true. They're 12-2 at home. Los Angeles 9-14. Philadelphia's won 8 straight. They're hot. They're unbeatable. Los Angeles is on a win streak of 2, but it looks like Philadelphia should win this game. Like I say, won 8 in a row. Opening line is 185. The line closes at 170. And sure enough, here we are. The general public, 66% of the bets were placed on Philadelphia. Now, here's the problem. Los Angeles actually won this game. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to explain why placing laying 170 was a very, very poor bet and bad value. But what I'm going to do is, instead of just saying bad value, I'm actually going to show you mathematically why that is. So, in order to basically, how you wagered this game was you had to lay 170 to win 100. So 100, you actually lost 170. Now, this is very important. Number 2 here, 60-40 hockey rule. I've talked about this in previous videos, and I'll cover it again. The best teams in hockey only have a 60% chance of winning the game. Conversely, even the worst teams, the teams that you say suck, that cannot win, still have a 40% chance of winning the game. Now, how I came up with this is years of research. You can go back and look at the final standings of any NHL season, look at the bad teams, see what their win percentage is, and look at the bad teams. It's going to be 60-40. So now that's kind of the key that we go off of. So let's apply that so that we can actually see what bad value is. So hypothetically, let's pretend Los Angeles and Philadelphia plays 10 times. Using that formula, Philadelphia wins 6 times. So they win 6 times. That's $600. Now watch this. They lose 4 times. So 4 times 170, that's $680. So actually I made a error here. That should be minus 80. So you lost money. So that's how you basically use a math problem to tell if it's good value or bad value. So that would be bad value. So if anything, you would have played. If somebody held a gun to my head and said you got to play one of these 2 teams, I would have played Los Angeles. Now, let's talk about good value and how you would find good value. So we actually handicap this game. Now, before I get into this, I'm going to give you layman's terms, a better way to understand good value and bad value. Have you ever gone? Let's say you bought a brand new car, and then maybe a year later your situation changes. Maybe you have a baby, or maybe your job changes, you need a new vehicle, you go to the dealership, you try to buy a car, the salesman comes out, everybody's done this, he comes out and says, buddy, we can't help you, you are upside down in this car, you're going to need $10,000 cash or whatever. This is the same exact thing except applied to sports betting. You're upside down, you're paying too much for Philadelphia. Okay, now let's go through my little bullet points here. My actual line for this game. So in order to find bad value or good value, let me say this first. You have to have a stat model that helps you create a line, whether it's hockey, football, baseball, basketball, whatever the sport is. I create a line for every single game, because if you don't, how do you know if you have good value or not? You don't. So my line for this game was minus 140. Now you ask yourself, well, so if the line was 140, you would have played Philadelphia. No, I would not. Here's another real-life example that will help you better understand this. Forget sports betting. pretend you are running a business selling products. What you're trying to do is, any business trying to sell products, they buy at wholesale and they sell at retail. You go into Starbucks, you buy a $4 coffee. What do they actually have in that coffee? I don't know, maybe $1.50, something like that. So they're buying at wholesale, they're selling at retail. So same thing in our business. Okay, the retail line of this game is minus 140. So I wouldn't pay minus 140. The actual line I would play, had this game been minus 120 Philadelphia, I would have played Philadelphia, because there's value. If you take 120 divided by 140, that's a 15% margin. So that'd be like buying a product for $120 and then you're turning around and selling it for 140. So let's add it up so that you can see it. We'll use the same scenario we did before, where we take Los Angeles and Philadelphia plays 10 games. Philadelphia wins 6 times. That's $600. Now watch this. We take 4 times the juice, 120. That's $480. What do you know? We actually win $120. So you can use this formula every single time. And just so you know, all you do is take, like for example, the 60% hockey rule. If you translate that into a money line, that's actually minus 150. That's how we come up with that. You can just Google that, money line conversions, and you'll be able to take any line and convert it into a win percentage. So again, hopefully that helps. But again, several things. You have to have a stat model. Very important. You have to create a line for every single game, because if you don't, there is absolutely no way you can know if that's good value or bad value. Hope you guys like that video. Subscribe for more content. Check out our website, mgcovers.com. If you want to follow us on Instagram, we give a lot of updates throughout the day in our story post about handicapping. We also, I reveal all my plays for NHL on YouTube, and also all my plays for NCAA basketball. So I hope you guys have a great week.